What's up, everybody? MamboMikeWellness.com. It's been a while since I've done a video. I've been busy with other projects, but if you guys have any topics or questions you would like to see me discuss, please send them to me. All right, so we have a viewer question, and she writes, how would you measure someone's integrity? And if you have a clear measure, do you believe that measure is less or equal to self-integrity? Meaning, can one only understand as much as they themselves understand self-integrity? It's easy for me to trust, but easier to distrust if something feels out of integrity. My struggle with this is that I don't trust anyone for a very long time, and once I do trust, I stay in a very skeptical place. It can take me forever to get out of that place of skepticism. Integrity. All right, so first let's look at the definition of integrity. One definition is the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles, moral uprightness. And the second one is the state of being whole and undivided. So there's a lot of connection between integrity and trust in your case. And so let's start with the first part. How would you measure someone's integrity? I mean, I would agree that the integrity is your based on how you feel about your own integrity. So it's much like authenticity, right? So if you're willing to be open, you're willing to be genuine and real with people and honest, and you understand those qualities, then it's much easier for you to recognize and expect those qualities in other people. And if you're not as clear on that, then it's much more difficult. It's much like, confidence or treating people with kindness, right? You understand kindness or love based on how you treat others is based on how you treat yourself. So if you're kind, if you're loving to yourself, then it's a lot easier to understand what it means to treat someone else the way you want to be treated. But if you're not clear about how you want to be treated or how you should be treated, for example, if your boundaries are not very strong and you allow people to abuse you or take advantage of you, etc., then it becomes a little more difficult because you're accepting certain things that really are not in alignment with who you are or what you really want. So let me see. Meaning, so it's easy to trust others, but easier to distrust. So I would argue that it's not easy for you to trust, right? It would be easy for you to want to trust somebody, but really, from what you're telling me in your question, you basically just have a difficult time trusting people. And trusting people isn't really about trusting them so much. It's really about trusting yourself. So it's about trusting your own gut feeling, your own intuition, your own sense, right? So if you're in a position or you have a pattern of trusting people and then they screw you over or they're not what you thought they were or that sort of thing, then it's really more or less a distrust within yourself. Because people don't change. I mean, people can change, but regardless of what kind of person you're with or friends with or in a relationship with, people are going to be however they are. I mean, it's not like you're dating somebody and you think they're all loyal and honest and whatever, and all of a sudden they cheat on you and you had no clue. What happens most of the time with people is very much like the law of attraction, right? You have certain beliefs or expectations, and they may or may not represent the person that you're interacting with, but we tend to project or manifest what we believe. So, for example, someone might be dating somebody who's very loyal and honest, and but they have a fear of people cheating on them. So every person they date, they're skeptical. They're constantly like checking their messages, and they're paranoid and whatever. And so any little incidents they find regarding that person, they're going to be skeptical, or they're going to assume the worst, right? And so sometimes it's not even like remotely close to what they assume is happening, but because their mind or their distrust is such, they're actually manifesting situations or ideas that confirm what they believe. And in the same opposite scenario, person maybe has a pattern of being with friends or dating people that always screw them over, and so they sort of blindly trust, and they ignore signs that are telling them, hey, this person's not treating you well, and you ignore, and it continues, and obviously it gets worse, and then at some point they're like, boom, then look, this person abandoned me or betrayed me or whatever, and I didn't see it coming. Well, really, you did see it coming, but you ignored your internal guidance system. So a lot of this trust stuff has really very little to do with the kind of people that you get, because regardless of where you are or where you go, there are always going to be people who are going to treat you well, and there are going to be people who don't treat you well. And it is up to us to be able to discern, to be able to select the kind of people that we want to hang out with. So really, integrity is very much about owning who you are, knowing what's right in terms of what's right for you, and what's right in terms of how you should treat others. And if you're very clear on that, and you have a strong boundary, like myself, for example, I don't, with most of my friends know this about me already. I'm very direct, and I'm very, I expect a lot from people. I mean, I don't tolerate much bullshit. I mean, if I feel something is not right, I'm going to address it. I'm not going to wait and let it linger, and then let's see what happens, and then it happens again, and I'm going to brush it off, and then eventually something happens, and then now I got to say something, right? I mean, either I'm going to bring it up, or if it's minor or whatever, maybe I'll distance myself from the person, or I'll cut them off. But there's no circumstance where I'm going to continue having a friendship or a relationship with somebody when I feel something is wrong and I'm not going to address it. So that has to do with the whole boundary, integrity, being real, right? So if you want people to be real with you, you got to be real with yourself, and you can't be afraid to stand up for whatever it is that you want. And when you do that, then the people who are a match to that will show up, and the people who are not will just fade away, right? So it is not about I have these certain people in my life, can I trust them? Because it's more of, can I trust the people that I select? Can I trust that when the time is right, that the people that I want will show up, and the other people that I don't, can just disappear. I mean, it's that literal, but maybe for many people it isn't. But if you understand the law of attraction, and you understand that everything that we manifest is a projection of our thoughts, beliefs, ideas, fears. So going back to your question about trust, so the struggle with not trusting for a long time is really a lot of it has to do with fear, right? You got to look at what is it that I'm afraid of. What am I afraid will happen if I trust somebody, right? And that there's aspects of being vulnerable, being afraid of being hurt, and maybe you're not fully trusting your own intuition. So I would invite you to spend more time really looking at your own fears, your own judgments, and if you have issues with establishing boundaries, for example, in the past, maybe you've had friends or family members or whatever who have in some way taken advantage of you or betrayed you, and so you're afraid. I mean, it's natural to be afraid of that happening again, but understand that when you're afraid and you have an expectation of that happening again, at the same time you're also inviting more of that expectation, more of that experience into your reality. So it's kind of tricky, but the bottom line is whatever reality that you're experiencing is based on what you're focused on. So trust and integrity comes with having trust and integrity with yourself. And the more you are clear about what it is that you want and expect and demand to have that, then the easier it is to discern when others are not a good fit for that. All right, so there's a lot more I could say about it, but that's just to get the conversation going. So, have any questions, comments? Love to hear about it. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.